Warm and a high of 102.
This is the Bill Manders Program on the Valley's next generation of news talk. Power Talk, 96.7 FM and 1400 AM.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Bill Manders, Power Talk, 96.7 and AM 1400. 5:34 in the afternoon. Oh, wait, just changed. 5:35. It's your drive home on the weekend. In studio with me, let's welcome former Lieutenant Governor Abel Maldonado is with us here, and I guess I call you Lieutenant Governor still, right? That's your designation still.
Bill, you can say former.
Okay, former lieutenant. There's so many words, though. Can I just call you Abel? Can I say?
Why not?
Okay,
why not?
You're my friend now.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, listen. We had Devin Nunes, another friend of yours, on just a few minutes ago.
He's a great congressman.
He said that you're a great guy too, even though you don't agree with everything. You and he. And then we've got this Andy Vidak, and we've got this Leticia Perez campaign going on. I know you're in a bus right now, and you're traveling places in the state. You're also not only coming in to do interviews and stuff, but you're singing the praises of Andy Vidak, aren't you?
I just think that Andy's a great guy. How could I not? I'm a farmer, and Andy's a farmer, and I think we need more farmers in Sacramento.
Isn't she a farmer?
Andy Vidak's a farmer, and Abel Maldonado's a farmer.
Isn't her husband? Mr. Producer? Isn't her husband a farmer of some sorts, or no? Maybe he's a CIA guy. No, wait a minute. He's a preacher.
He's a preacher.
That's what he is.
Well, we preach to broccoli, cauliflower, and Andy preaches to cherries, and now he wants to go to Sacramento and do the hard work of the people of the Central Valley. And I think Andy would be a great congressman, number one. Number two, I think there needs to be debate, Bill. Right now, there's no debate in Sacramento. There's a supermajority on the Assembly. There's a supermajority on the Senate. And when you have no debate, you get government that doesn't work. And that's why I think Andy Vidak's election is very, very important.
Let me ask you as well a straight question here. Do you have thoughts on running for governor here in the state?
I'm in the process of putting a team together, a foundation. Once again, I can go back to the same message. I think it's important that we have debate. Right now in Sacramento, we have a governor who put out a budget, didn't share it with any person on the minority side, and there's no feedback, no talking back and forth. We have also a governor who signed AB 109. I think is one of the worst pieces of legislation that needs to be looked at, the release of prisoners in California. So, yeah, why not? I think there needs to be some debate. We need to have a different message out there. I refuse to give up.
Now, when you were the lieutenant governor, again, explain to me the facts of how you got there, because I was in Nevada at the time. But you were not elected, were you not?
I was appointed by Governor Schwarzenegger and confirmed by both houses of the legislature. I was confirmed by the Assembly and the Senate, appointed by the governor, and I got to tell you,
this would be your first election by the people, then, if you win.
That's correct. Obviously, a very, very important state, the largest state in the country, and I think we can do better. I think we deserve to do better.
Again, forgive me. How long did you sit as lieutenant governor?
I served a little under a year.
Okay,
but I can say this to the people of the Central Valley. In the last year of Governor Schwarzenegger's administration, the governor traveled a lot, and I have a lot of executive branch experience. I don't know if you were around at this time, Bill, but we had this little thing called Bell, California, where down there we had some council members that decided that it was important for them to take the people's money into their pockets and leave the city hanging. I signed all the bills for Bell that put them back on track to give people the $2 million that their local government officials stole from them.
You know, the reason I bring all this up is because if I look at the candidates that are up there right now, Gavin Newsom's one of them, I think, that will run. Oh, my gosh, Jerry Brown's going to run again. Villaraigosa from Los Angeles. I think I've just named three of the people that have actually contributed to the downfall of the state of California. I believe this state is very close to filing for bankruptcy. And if they don't, then I think we're going to be right on the cusp of all of that. And I think one of the reasons is because of what you just talked about, the supermajority in Sacramento, the Democrats, the liberals, and also people that want to run for office who are really not fiscal conservatives. I put that question to you because I don't know if you're a fiscal conservative. I want you to answer that question for me right now on the program, so I'll always have that in my back pocket when you run. Are you a fiscal conservative?
Well, Bill, I In my heart, I'm a fiscal conservative. I did cast one vote in my whole career of 18 years that people might not call me a fiscal conservative, which was in 2009, where we had a situation where the budget was in a very dire straits, and we were sending our taxpayers what do you call them, IOUs, as tax refunds. And I'm going to share something with you. And I've never said this before, but I'm going to say it to you on your show here. I think my mistake was thinking that the majority party would learn and say, you know what, we've done a sales tax increase here. We need to cut back on the spending. My biggest mistake was thinking that they would learn, Bill. They didn't. They continue to spend. They're never going to stop spending. When government spends other people's money, they just spend, and then they come back and ask us for more.
Well, the real question is, do you learn your lesson at that point in time? So I take it you have.
I have, and I shared this with a lot of my friends on the other side of the aisle, and I thought they would learn, Bill, but I'll repeat it. There's no end to the money that Sacramento wants. And I can also say this. I believe we, as Californians, we have become sharecroppers to the government. We have become sharecroppers to Sacramento. Here in California, some individuals are paying 52% of their income to the government. What has gone wrong? And again, Bill, it's not enough.
Well, we can drag farmers into that, too, because, I've known farmers for a long, long time. I've had good friends that are farmers. They still are. I've met people like Devin Nunes. His family's a farming farmer. You're a farmer. I know how hard they work. I know that most of that money that you earn on the crop this year goes into the crop for next year. And with the water crisis in California, so many issues that you and I could talk about. We don't have enough time to talk about all of them today. But I will tell you this. I think that we're doing it backwards. And I'll tell you what I mean by that.
Please.
I come from a state. I came from here, went to Nevada, and came back here. I have a great job right now, et cetera, et cetera. But the first thing I notice on my paycheck is my state income tax. Mm-hmm. Money taken out of my check that goes to the state for people up in Northern California that are not even close to my interest to spend. Mm-hmm. I want to ask you this question because I'm prepared and have been thinking about this and even talked about it on the air since I got back here. I want to be part of a movement that says state income tax is gone. You can keep that money now because you earned it. And the first question that's going to come up, of course, is, well, what do we do with the things that we put the money towards right now? I'm calling for an overhaul of the entire system in California because I think we can cut the state income tax, give it to the people that most need it, the earners, and through all of that, there'll be all kinds of things that will happen in this state that nobody up in Sacramento even thought about. Are you in agreement that the state income tax should be looked at, again, at least, as something we might be able to drop and get rid of?
Well, first of all, it's a very bold move on your part, Bill. And in order to fix California, we need to make bold moves because what we've been doing just isn't working. I think Governor Brown, with his Proposition 30 that he just passed, no one's called him on this, and I think maybe we should start calling him on this.
He taxed us more. That's what he did.
But let's not forget, he said we didn't have money. All of a sudden, there's more money in the coffers. Maybe, what about a refund to the people of California? Because California now, supposedly to them, has a surplus. Bill, I can have a balanced budget at my home, and you can have a balanced budget at home if you hide your credit cards. That's what Sacramento has done.
I have to have a balanced budget at home.
That's right.
Because I don't have somebody who's an earner. I don't have them to go to dip into. My son's a dentist. I can't call him up and say, hey, Jason, I'm really glad that you're a successful dentist and everything. Can you loan your pops $1,000 this month? I don't have that option. Right. I don't.
You make a valid point, Bill, and I'll share this with you. Here's two things. There's money in banks. People have some money. People who are in business have some money, but they're not willing to invest it. Why? Because there's no certainty. Like you said, they don't know what the tax rules are going to be next year. They don't know what the tax rules are going to be next week. They don't know what the red tape's coming down the pike. So what do? They don't invest. And when there's no certainty and when there's no confidence in government, we have an economy that won't jumpstart. And that's what we have today. We got to put some certainty in government.
I want you and I want people listening to understand I didn't say no taxes. I didn't say that.
I understand that.
I said no state income tax, which means that whatever taxes are left, that's what we have to do. That's what our budget's all about.
You live within your means.
I guarantee you, if we go through the budget and we look for things that are non-essential, we'll have plenty of money to run this state without supporting state income tax.
I couldn't agree with you more, Bill. And I've been there. I've been there for 14 years. And if
I just hope you remember me if you get elected.
Listen, I'm going to remember you because you're not saying something that's outrageous. It's what Californians want. I'm traveling the state of California, Bill, and they're telling, we'd open the newspaper. It says California's doing better. Then I go to the community and says, are you doing better?
What are people saying? That's
I talk to the people that says, no, we're not doing better. I can't have that pizza night for my family. Why is
Jerry Brown up there touting this whole, we're so successful now, et cetera, et cetera? Why is he doing that? Are we that stupid?
Well, I can tell you this, that he's decided, well, put it this way, he's ending enterprise zones, he's taking redevelopment funds, and he's dumping felons on our communities. And he's supposed to be a good governor. Those are the things that we need to question. Those are the things that I'm questioning him on every single day, Bill, and I hope you continue to do it as well.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back. Former Lieutenant Governor Maldonado in studio with us. His name is Abel. I got confused for a moment, okay, because we're on a first-name basis here. And I got to put all these things in front of it. Just Abel's with us. We'll be back. Power Talk 9.
Warm and a high of 102.
On the Valley's brand new Power Talk 96.7 FM and 1400 AM.
All right, we are back with former Lieutenant Governor Abel Maldonado, my buddy Abel. Thanks for joining us.
We
on
are
the program.
buddies, Bill.
Oh, we are.
We
We're
are
pals.
buddies.
What do they call it? Kindred spirits?
Why
maybe.
not?
Who knows?
Why not?
I need a kindred spirit.
We've all had first dates.
Who's our kindred sister over here? Who is this over here?
Her name is Julia.
Really? Hi, Julia. How are you?
She's Russian.
Really? Nostrovia. I don't know. Pierogi. How's that sound, huh? Yeah. My grandmother used to make pierogies. Yeah. All right, listen, I want to ask you, do we have the speech down? Do we have it? All right, I'm going to play something for you real quick here, and when we get to the certain point, I'll cut it out. But listen, this is somebody you're familiar with. Listen.
The message this year is clear. California has once again confounded our critics. We've wrought in just 2 years a solid and enduring budget. And by God, we're going to preserve and keep it that way for years to come. Wow. Against those who take pleasure singing of our demise, California did the impossible.
Impossible.
You, the legislature, did it.
Yeah.
You cast difficult votes to cut billions from the state budget. You curbed prison spending through an historic realignment. And you reformed and reduced the state's long-term pension liabilities. Then, the citizens of California, using their inherent political power under the Constitution, finished the task. They embraced the new taxes of Proposition 30 by a healthy margin.
All right, that's enough. We all embraced Proposition 30 by asking for more taxes. I'm calling the governor on that one because you know what? I don't want more taxes, and I don't know anybody that does want more taxes, and I don't believe the state is in better shape with Jerry Brown than it was without him.
Bill, he said we need Proposition 30 because we don't have money for education and for higher education. And then in his little speech, he says we have a surplus. Well, if you have a surplus, then give the money back to the people that you took it from when you told them you didn't have the money.
Well, no, we couldn't do that because we need to spend it on other items.
That's correct. We have about a $5 billion vacation pay bank that we owe. We have billions of dollars in pensions on CalSTRS, billions in pensions, and we have billions and billions that we owe to the federal government on unemployment insurance. Remember, we told people you can get extra 100 weeks and so forth. So as long as you hide your liabilities, of course we're going to have a balanced budget to the people of California.
You know, I'm going to ask you something, okay, and I know you already told me. Did you have a job before you got into politics?
I was a farmer, just like Andy Vidak. I'm a farmer.
You're a farmer.
We grow broccoli, cauliflower, and lettuce. I moved irrigation pipe. I pull weeds. I drove truck. I drove tractor. I don't think Jerry Brown's he's never, ever had a job.
Yeah, I just remember him and Linda Ronstadt. That's all I remember.
You know what? All his career, he's lived off the taxpayers.
Well, we could put an end to it here in California. I don't know if the voters are ready to do that or not.
I think they are.
I hope they are.
I think they are, Bill.
And I hope that, that speech that he gave us back in January of January 24th, I think, of this year, And since I've been here, I don't see the bottom line getting any better.
I don't
see taxes going down. I see gasoline prices going up. I see the environmentalists still in charge, taking and grabbing things like property at Yosemite and over on the coast at Oceana Dunes. I don't see this state moving in a positive direction like Texas, for example.
And he's dumping felons on our streets of California under AB 109. He called it a historic realignment.
Right.
Now he's allowing people to not serve they don't do their time. And what do? They end up on the streets. Bill,
committing other crimes.
A couple of weeks ago, there's a guy named Kinnear down in L.A. He went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. My mother and father took me to the Hollywood Walk of Fame when I was a young man because it's the cheapest place to go on maybe a day or two of vacation. And this young lady, Christine Calderon, was murdered by an AB 109er, and he's got the guts to say the legislature enshrined AB 109, and it's a groundbreaking. It's the biggest shift of responsibility of a governor in California, and public safety is not something you mess with. It's the number one issue, and he shifted it to the locals.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't know if you know Mike Reynolds or not. I think you do.
Very much so. We wouldn't have three strikes if it wasn't for Mike Reynolds.
Right here from Fresno, and I carry his daughter's picture from the day that he gave it to me 10 years ago, maybe 9-10 years ago. I carry her picture still in my wallet. I wrote about her in a book that I wrote. Mm-hmm. And still, there's no justice.
Right. And
no justice when the governor does what he did and ignores the pain and hurt from the Reynolds family that's still there. And one of the guys that did this is out on the street right now.
Yep. And, Bill, in this Stop Early Release campaign that I have, Mark Kloss, who lost Paulie, you remember Paulie, he's joined me. Aaron Runyon, who lost Samantha down in Orange County, has joined me. And you know what? I can't, like Mark said to me, he says, Abel, it's easy to forget about victims. Let's never forget victims, and that's what Governor Brown has done here. And you know what? It's no secret because it comes from his core, Bill, because during his first 2 terms as governor, crime spiked, and it's spiking again, and it's spiking here in the Central Valley also.
But they're ignoring it. The voters are ignoring that for some reason. You know, you've had a couple of elections, and you ran against Gavin Newsom, for example, and lost that race. What was the reason for that?
Well, you know, in California,
Gavin is... I don't know.
Bill, it's in California, the top of the ticket drives everything. And when the top of the ticket loses by a lot, everybody below just goes with the flow. In this process that I'm in today, if I decide to run for governor, I'm going to share something with you. I'm going to go to every nook and cranny of this state, places where Republicans don't go, and we're going to share our story of what this governor has done and where California is going. Because you are right. California is on weak footing. It's trying to get better. They're saying it's better. But if I leave this station right now and go right across the street here and ask people, how do you feel? How are things going? You know what? They don't have movie nights. They don't have pizza nights.
Oh, listen,
they're barely making it.
You don't even have to go across the street. Just go over there to the other side of the glass. Ask my producer. Yeah. He'll tell you. Yeah. It's a family of 5. Yeah. It's struggle to make it.
That's right.
It really is tough to make it.
It really is. Every day. And you have a governor saying things are better, things are good, and things are going to get better. You know what? I want them to get better, but we need to be truthful with the people of California.
They'll get better, Abel, if we use correct principles. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm always going to talk about while I'm here and I have breath. We have to use correct principles, not politics. That's what we have to do, and we got to get that message out to the people that are listening. It's really not that difficult. It's the old 2 + 2. The problem is we haven't taught kids that 2 + 2 is 4. It's not could be 5. That's what we're teaching now.
Let's give people a fishing pole, not the fish. You know, I was speaking the other day, and this young man says to me, he says, Mr. Maldonado, he says, why are you Republican if the Democrats are for the poor? And I said to him, you want to be poor? Because if you want to be poor, they'll keep you poor. And those are things that we need to focus on and continue to work hard and let people know what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, this country was not founded on people to be living off the government. Listen, this country was founded on hard work, Bill.
And the real illusion, smoke and mirrors, is that the Democrat Party has always been for the poor. If you go back and do your history, not you, but people in general, and find out what the Republican Party was all about way back then, it was the party of the people. Mm-hmm. We had a state congressman, a state senator the other day from, I think, Mississippi or Louisiana somewhere. I don't know if you heard his talk or not. But he was given the reason why he became a Republican. He left the Democrat Party. It is a brilliant speech. I'll let you hear it. You stay here for a few minutes after we get off. I'll let you hear this speech. It's one of the most impressive, most inspirational speeches I've ever heard. And you will take this into your campaign with you and remind people
I'd like to listen to it.
Of what you heard on this program when we hear it. Because you know what? It's sad what's happening in this country because people don't know their history. We got a few more minutes.
Bill, who has the highest? Which state has the highest poverty in America? California.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
You know who runs California? The governor's office. You know who runs California's every constitutional office? You know who runs California's Assembly and Senate?
Yeah,
and they're for
Democrats,
the poor.
Liberal Democrats.
And they're helping the poor.
Right. Speaking of that, listen, you're a Hispanic. Being Hispanic, we got this controversy of immigration going on right now, and they want to reform the comprehensive immigration. I'm standing on the edict that the founding fathers came up with, or whoever came up with it. It's in place. Doing it the right way is already in place, but we don't do it the right way. I don't think we need a new immigration law whatsoever. I think we need to do it correctly. And I don't think we need to go hunt down 11 million or 20 million people. I think we need to apply proper principles. And again, things will work out. Where do you stand on it?
I think we should have somewhat of a temporary worker permit. Let me say temporary worker permit. My father, Bill,
the bracero program.
My father is a bracero. He came to America as a bracero. The federal government said, you, Mr. Maldonado, can come to America to work and work only. And when the work is over with, you got to go back to the country you came from.
What the heck? Ought to be interviewing him today.
That's right. Well, you're damn near are, because I'm. But Bill, they also told him this. They said, you know what? We're going to put a little powder on your head to check you for lice. We're going to check you for TB. We're going to check you for disease, and we're going to check you if you have a little background. See if you've done any bad things. And guess what? You get to come here and pick strawberries for about six months. And if you're a good temporary strawberry picker, guess what? We'll give you a permit the following year. What's wrong with that?
Brother, all that stuff happened to me the other day at the doctor.
Well, there you have
powder on the head and all that stuff.
Well, there you have it.
Absolutely.
My dad said, Abel, people criticize that I lived in a farming camp. He says to me, Abel, it was a lot better than our young men and women in Iraq and Afghanistan today. And it really says it all.
Smart
Why
guy.
Not a temporary worker permit?
How does a guy go from working in the camps to becoming the lieutenant governor? That's the story that needs to be told.
A lot of luck.
And I'm sure not only luck,
hard work.
But I think hard work and rewards for the hard work that you put in. Listen, we're running out of time. I've enjoyed myself talking to you, as Devin Nunes said I would. Keep those things I talked about in mind, okay? And there's one other thing, too, I want you to remember. When you get up there to Sacramento, it's already halfway done. I used to work up there. But just remember something. Downtown Sacramento, neon.
Neon.
Gotta have neon, baby.
Gotta have neon, baby.
Abel Maldonado, thank you very much for joining us. Stick around. I want to play that soundbite for you, okay? If you got some time, do you? Okay. My producer will get it ready. He's probably already got it ready. I want you to hear it. It's most impressive. That's it for us. Have a great weekend. We're coming back on Monday, and that means anything could happen between now and then, and usually does. We'll be on top of it in the Trayvon Martin case as well. The jury will come up with a verdict, I think. Have a good weekend. Good night, everybody. Power Talk 96.7 AM 1400.
PowerTalk967.com. Home of the most powerful name in news. Fox News on KALZ, Fowler, Fresno, and KRZR.